Hey folks, we're going to continue our Space Haven tutorial video series today. Let's get started. So when we left off just a little bit earlier, I believe we were working on expanding our ship just a little bit. We made room for a second airlock. We got this Cult of New Haven ship test pseudo is being pulled apart currently. And I was thinking while I was off stream, I think I actually want to get rid of the recycler to free up tech blocks, because I think the recycler, if I remember correctly, is three tech blocks, and we're not really using it for anything right now. We are going to process all of our soft scrap, I think. How many soft blocks do we have? Yeah, so what I want to do is I want to use up all of the scrap that we have on board currently. I'm just going to go ahead and continuously produce soft blocks with soft scrap. And then we're going to use up some, but not all of our infra blocks. That's enough for another 10 infra blocks, which should keep us for a while. We don't have enough hull scrap to make anything. I think we're going to do... What does this work out to? This is one infra block for 3, and this is one for 4. So... we'd have to use up 12 units to make them match up evenly, I think. And that'll produce, like, 3 electronics components. We already have 12, so that's probably plenty. So I just queued a bunch of stuff from the recycler. As soon as all that stuff is done, then we're going to dismantle the recycler and get some extra blocks, because I want to speed up our research a little bit. I don't think we're making progress quickly enough on our research. Meanwhile, Connor is healing in the med bay. Let's take a look at our crew members that we're recruiting here. We can start recruiting Legrand and William as well. We got a noticing we don't have enough oxygen. Let's take a look at our overall. Seems okay overall. Let's take a look at our vents. Our vents are all open, so this is just a gas flow issue, it seems like. I mean, the levels are down, are at in the 110s, 120s. Over here, it's up at 142. Maybe it's slowly going down ship-wide. We did leave enough room for another oxygen generator here, so maybe let's just point one down. We actually can't right now because we don't have a tech block. So we're going to have to dismantle something. We might dismantle this recycler a little bit sooner than I was thinking. Let's kill the infra scrap recycling for now. And I don't think we technically need the tech scrap right now. I just want to finish all of the soft scrap, and then hopefully that'll be good. I also think that I want to get rid of this gas scrubber in the recycling section. That gas is not going to hurt anybody in that section by itself. I'm going to go ahead and use that tech block to build our extra life support here. Thinking about putting windows on the outside of the hull here. I think we should probably do that. Unfortunate that we can't make the window 1 square longer. Let's go with 2 shorter windows instead. Maybe 3 shorter windows. No, it doesn't quite fit. 2 and a 3. It has to be 2 and a 3. That's alright. So I'm just going to let in a little bit of starlight to make our bedroom more comfortable. Oh, this is one of my favorite random things, is just watching crew members go outside to work on exterior hull windows in their spacesuits. It's just a fun little detail. This is a weird location, though. They're actually having trouble getting there and getting back on their oxygen supplies. Or no, it's not their oxygen that's running out, they're just tired. It looks like we have spacesuits on still. No, we don't. They just need to, these guys need to sleep. We must have had an extra long shift. We actually amazingly have enough beds for everybody, even though we have some people that were sleeping off schedule. Since we have a lot of crew, we took on everything on board very quickly. Our soft scrap is proceeding. How much do we have left? We've gone through like 6 of it already. We used up all of our water super quick that we had from before, so we got to keep an eye on that. And we don't have a surplus food, so we really need water and food. Some of it also went into making more oxygen. I'm wondering whether it's worth it to check out all these derelicts. We're not likely to find a lot of water on these derelict ships. And we'll find some randomly here and there. I think this is the space station that we couldn't take over even though we explored everything. Says it's 85.7%, so let's go ahead and hop over there, see what happens. I think there's... I don't think there's anybody over here. Is there? Maybe. We're not seeing inside it anymore, so... Oh, there is aliens here. Shoot. Okay, so our position isn't the best. We gotta get our guys to join together in one area as soon as possible. Looks like we can cut through here and group up. Yeah, they must have started a new nest, I think, because we already. Maybe this is a different derelict than the one I'm thinking of. I guess it must be a different one because we haven't explored most of this. Oh, whoa, danger! I like a couple of those big guys here. So Woodrow is the one under attack, so we're gonna move him. Assault rifles are so accurate, I love it. Alright. We've explored the full of tacos. We did not find any tacos, I don't think. Let's check the inventory. I mean, there's seeds and nuts. I guess we could maybe use them as an ingredient in tacos. I'm not entirely sure about that. I feel like this is false advertising. And we have another data log or something over here. I'm gonna check out, and let's undraft everybody else so they can go back. Even if Catherine gets stranded here for a while, she'll be okay because there's oxygen in these airlocks. Or at least this one airlock. We didn't really get much here. We're out of resources. It looks like the kitchen is out of food. I think our grow beds should be producing at a healthy level, so maybe it's just a matter of time for everything to get caught up. How's our storage capacity looking? We're at 225 out of 250. So we got like 50 storage units available. We'll take on this base metal, since it's right here next to us. And I'm debating whether to wait until the civilian ship gets into the sector to see if they have any water for purchase. I think we probably already purchased whatever water they have. One thing that we could consider doing is building another composter after we demolish the recycler. How are we doing on our soft scrap recycling? We still have 1 unit of soft scrap in here being processed. Okay, now we're out of that, so let's dismantle the recycler. Okay, we did get the civilian ship in while we were doing construction, that's okay. Imbroglio, do you have any water for us? You have 1 water unit, I guess we'll take it. You have some weapons that we sold you earlier. You do want chemicals, so we'll give you some chemicals, as much as you can afford anyway. And I think we do have a couple medical supplies, so we're okay there. Is there anything else we want from them? I think no. Yep, so that's gonna be it. And then we're going to build a composter to help our water supply get caught up. Maybe 2 of them. I think 2 of them would be a good idea, because we have almost 200 biomatter, and we have a bunch of corpses and stuff like that on top of that. So we need our composting to get caught up to reclaim some water. Unfortunately, we have some pathing issues. That shouldn't be too bad. I think if we face them both this way, it should be okay, because they can walk behind that and in front of the chemical refinery. Let's go ahead and continue. Oh no, we're trading still. Okay, here's our composter. I'm just going to let this one do biomatter if we have more than one. Yeah, I'll let this be the body's composter, and I'll have the others just do biomatter, just to get it out of our inventory, you know. I thought we would have had more tech blocks than that. Where did our other tech block end up? We used one to build an oxygen generator. We used one to... Does composter take more tech blocks than I thought it did? Oh, it does. It takes 2. My bad. I thought it only took 1. So I misremembered the cost here. Yeah, we're at 2 units of water. That's not great. So we're just gonna... I think we're just gonna get on the hyperspace lanes here, and we're just gonna keep jumping until we find some ice or some water. Another ship that we could trade with or whatever. The other thing that we can potentially do is we could research the water purification, but that's going to be something that takes time. It's not going to happen instantly before we run out of water. Let's check with these civilians and see if they have any water that we can purchase. And if not, we're going to continue on through the sector here. Volstricker, you do have water. Oh, fantastic. We're saved. Okay. So I'm going to buy... One thing is when your resources are like super, super low like this, sometimes it's a good idea to just buy stuff for money so that you don't have to wait for your crew to load things into the airlock when they're logistically available. These guys also have tech blocks, which we've been looking for forever and ever, so we're going to buy us some tech blocks. And then we can also afford to sell them some plastic. What else? We can sell them a couple of these super blocks. I don't want to sell all of them. And we're gonna buy some tech blocks. Let's buy like 10 because we can afford to. We're like rolling in dough. We're gonna buy another 10, in fact. We can definitely afford it. Is there anything we want to sell while we're in here? I think we may want to sell some of this scrap just to get it out of our inventory. Let's go ahead and sell 10 units of tech scrap. So this should enable us to put our recycler back if we wanted to, but we probably have better uses for tech blocks, honestly. This stage of the game. So let's go ahead and place our composter here again. We're going to go ahead and place our research facility. And the question I'm wondering about is, do we want to have more than that? Let's have like 3 research facilities. I think that'll be good. And we can afford it now with the tech blocks that we just bought. It's nice having the crew in 2 shifts because we can just keep doing stuff all the time. We don't have to wait for the crew to sleep sometimes. Still waiting for our tech block transactions here. Okay, we got the optronics research. This just speeds up our research, but it also unlocks some important options here. The optronics fabricator enables us to manufacture energy cells for the robots. I'm going to check how many energy cells we have right now because we may not want to make that a priority. At 17, I don't think we need to make that our first priority. It is also a prerequisite for manufacturing tech blocks, but we have Yeah, so we could actually manufacture our own tech blocks if we get the optronics fabricator and the advanced assembler. That would be a kind of a win. But we just bought 20 of them, so maybe we don't have to do that right away. The X2 power generator is a possibility. I think we're okay-ish. Yeah, we're okay on energy right now, so we don't necessarily need to go that route immediately. Jukebox and arcade machine could be good for recruiting, but we mostly recruited everybody that we brought on board already. Salvage robots are not super essential at this stage of the game. I don't know why they put them so late in the tech tree, but they're pretty neat to look at, so we're going to research that at some point. It's probably going to be one of our later researches. I think the thing that we need right now most is shields. So once this research is done, then we'll talk about shields, why you want them and how they're used and how they compare to like the durability you get from the hull stabilizers. Okay, we got 2 new research stations online. Very good. I think I'm actually going to make this a window. You can make interior windows from ship walls. So we're going to go ahead and delete that and put a little window in there so they can have some more comfort in the research facility. So just lets in a little more light, I guess. There's no light in the middle of this room, which is a bit weird. Trying to figure out what's the best place for us to put lights. I think we could potentially put some on this wall. We could go ahead and put a light here, a light here. We can't put a light there because there's a door. We can put a light there. I want to save this for like a thermal regulator or something probably later, this spot, so we're not going to put a light there. And then I think in between these two things here, we're going to put a hall window. So now our bridge has some visibility, and it should be a little more comfortable for the crew. And it looks nicer too. Still a little bit dark in the middle. Seeing more EVAs to do hull work. I wonder if we should put an airlock on this side once we finish this outer section here, just to allow easier access for EVAs on that side of the ship. We have a Merchant Federation ship in the sector here. Let's buy some water from these guys. Do they want anything that we have for sale? They're 23 carbon. We're going to sell them some plastic. How many tech blocks do we have left after the stuff that we just built? We got 15. Debating buying even more from here. Yeah, I think if we buy their last 2 tech blocks, that just say it's just that much longer that we don't have to manufacture our own tech blocks, which is kind of a nice thing to have. So let's do that. We can worry about that end game manufacturing later. Lots of trading going on. It's kind of nice sometimes to just watch people on your ship run around and do stuff. As long as everybody's got something to do. I think we're on the night shift here. Oh, we can revive our poor robot that's been sitting here forever. LR01SC. Let's give you a new home. So we now can afford to have a 4th logistics robot because we have the tech box for it. There you go, buddy. Oh, so this is a fun little detail here. When the robot's out of batteries, a crew member will actually go over and pick it up as a logistics task and then bring it back to the charging station to charge it. I just thought that's kind of like a cute little graphical detail. And then it'll get stocked with an energy cell, and then it'll be charged up again. And you can see actually one of the other robots restocked it. So the machine rebellion is beginning. The research is getting done way faster now that we have 3 stations, which is pretty cool. Yeah, we have high body temperature. This industry section... That's very hot, 48 degrees centigrade. Sounds like we already have a thermal regulator over on this wall. I guess we could just put another one. I don't want to build another power node just for this little tiny corner here. Let's see. I'm stingy like that. Actually, let's put it... We want to spread out our life support nodes a little bit. Let's put it over on this corner here. Okay, I think we can move on to the next sector. What's our water total now? 27. And now that we have a composter that's not doing anything, so let's fix that. Very good. And our compost's total is actually still trending upward right now. We're at 192. I don't think I want to backtrack and check every derelict ship to see if there's one or two we forgot here. I think we're going to continue on to the next area. We have an option to get raw chemicals. That would not be too bad. Let's try to take a look at the overall galaxy map here and see where we're going. So the pay dirt here in the overall star map is this resource-rich sector, abundant resource system. This is like, we're going to get piles and piles of resources when we get to this sector, but it's pretty late in the star map, so... but when we get to that, you know, we're kind of at the end of the game already. By that point, we're only 2 jumps away from the destination, which is the one on the far right side of the board here. I think, though, I mean, we've already gone through the alien sector, which is like the big main fighting challenge. I want to go at some point through a safe system so that I can show you what military inspections are like. And I do want to eventually get to the resource-rich sector. So I think what we might do is we might take a slightly roundabout route here. We're going to go here, there, and then we'll go down to the resource-rich sector. And then maybe we'll go after the Cult of New Haven system before we get to the end here. Or maybe we'll just fight the military alliance at the end. I think that'll be interesting. So for that reason, I'm going to head to the bottom right here. I'm actually already at the... I'm just going to finish exploring this sector here. Oh, this is a nice location. We better stop there. Okay, so we have the ACS Oliver Carlo. It's there for us to explore. We have some noble metals, some carbon, which is nice for our plastic sails, and some Hyperium fuel. Let's go ahead and grab our away teams. And we're still in the alien sector, so gotta be careful how we approach this here. What do we have in terms of holes in the hull? It looks like there's a gap in the middle over here. This kind of is like a weird U-shaped or Y-shaped configuration. I think if we put our crew in here, then they should be able to float into this middle gap in the hull and be pretty safe until they get there. Oh, we got, the nest is right there, so this is a good entry point, I think. We can see, we even got a little preview through the window before we came around the corner. Let's go ahead and have somebody open this. Just gonna use C key to make them look that way instead of shooting, or instead of moving. There we go. Okay, we cleared that nest. We don't see anything else in that back corner there, so we're going to head across to the other side of the ship and see if there's another nest over there. It's nice that we have these hull windows here on both sides so we can see all the way across to the other side of the ship. And really speeds up our exploration. Okay, so the Oliver Carlo is explored. This is a nice generator. This is an X3. It's a shame that we can't salvage it because it's a derelict. I mean, we can pull it apart for energy scrap and stuff like that, but we can't get the blocks for it. We can't actually use it. And now what we have is two X1s stuck together with duct tape, which kind of looks like an X3, but it's not. Shield console. Nice. Okay, so once we have the console, this is our bridge station. Now we have to research the actual shield generator. So we can build the shield console now, but it's not going to do us any good technically until we have the station online. I'm going to go ahead and build it anyway. I'm going to move this little research chair. I call it the thinking chair. That's going to go over on this side here so it can fit into the bridge station. Okay. There's our shield console. We should start thinking about where our shield generator is going to go once we have the technology available. Probably going to want to expand our hull a little bit very soon. Once we get the shield generators online, we'll definitely need to build the optronics factory because the shield generator also uses energy cells. I'm going to wait for this military alliance ship and see if they have anything interesting before we jump out of the sector. Okay, here we go. Gentle tap. So by the way, we are in a space hazard called Nebula. Nebula is harmless to us because we have no shields currently, but it drains your shields. You can see this military alliance ship. Watch how quickly their shields go down. This is on 1x speed. Just gone, just like that. It's faster than you can charge up a jump and jump back out of the system. Completely wipes out your shields. So just be aware of that when you're jumping from sector to sector. And it's this insignia here indicates the nebula. Let's see. We have the option to buy some more energy cells here. We have 16 of them already, so I don't necessarily need to do that. They already have some chemicals. We're going to buy a couple units of raw chemicals from them. And since we have a bunch of carbon, we can sell them some plastic as well. Yeah, and that's probably going to be it. We're in a radiation sector, so we're going to get out of here pretty soonish. I wanted to take a look, by the way, and see how efficient our ship's logistics are. Let's see, which graph is it here? There's these little graphs over these different views. This is the view menu. You can hit R to open this, or press this button here. We have the vents view. We have water vapor, hazardous gases, CO2, oxygen, isolated areas. This is what I'm looking for. The available jobs. Available jobs shows where the crew members can go to do things. So here we can see that there's a grow bed job available, and there's a logistics job available to grab cargo from the airlock that just came on board and put it in storage. These graphs here, this shows how many free jobs there are, which is an indicator of your ship's overall kind of crew effectiveness. If there's a lot of free jobs available, that means that you don't have enough crew members for a ship this size. And if it's pretty low, that means your ship is well staffed. So we can see right now everybody's sleeping, so there's going to be a lot of free jobs, and it'll go down when both crews are active. Unstored items is an indicator of your logistical efficiency. However, there are certain types of items that are not affected, that don't get stored, like the alien corpses, so those are also included in the unstored items. So I would say we have probably 40 alien corpses on the floor here. So I'm not too worried about our logistical efficiency here. Those will eventually get processed by our 3 composters that are working now. We can see that this is back down from 190. So I think we're slowly going to start seeing a reduction in our available what do I want to say, in the unstored items graph. So, but it's quite high right now. Things that just got produced by a factory can also be unstored items, so it's almost never going to be 0, but you can get it down to like the single digits if your ship is running efficiently. Okay, the Volstrekker we've already traded with, yeah. Okay, I think we are done with this sector. We're halfway, or a third of the way done with the shield generator research, which is nice. Do I want more raw chemicals? We don't need them right now. We got 20. So we're gonna head down this way. Let's go ahead and move into a sector that has resources so we can start looking for, we can start harvesting and doing stuff while we're building our hull, which is what I want to do next year. So this is what type of outpost is this? This is a mining station owned by the Merchant Federation. So if I didn't mention it before, you can see that what all the different symbols on the map mean available in these two menus, the middle and the left menu here. So these are all the different types of stations, derelict stations and so forth, unknown ships stations, different types of hazards, siren worlds and nebulas, different types of resources, and then this is all of the faction insignia and their reputation to you. So that's where you can go if you are confused about something on the star map. Alright, and we have our mining station here. They usually have a lot of raw materials at mining stations. Other stuff is a crapshoot. They have lots of carbon. They have lots of ice, which is something that we really want. So we're going to buy a bunch of ice. That's going to keep us in water for a while. We're going to buy all of their ice units. Let's see what they want in terms of sale. They have a lot of carbon, so we're going to sell them all of our plastic. And by the way, you can only do 10... I probably mentioned this before, but you can only do 10 cargo units per trade on each side, so that's why we're doing multiple trades here. Let's see. Go ahead and sell some chemicals. Got some ice. We're gonna buy some raw chemicals from them to make up this out here. We can just go ahead and buy 10 water units. And we can just go ahead and buy 10 carbon units. And that means we can sell them. So we're going to have a lot of industry tasks because of all the stuff that we're selling here and the option to manufacture more stuff. Let's stop at 100. Okay, we sold all 5 above 100, so we're okay there. We could think about selling a couple hull blocks, but I want to do some hull construction, so let's not. Yeah. And then we have way too much noble metal, so we're going to sell a couple units just to get it out of our inventory. Okay, let's look at our whole building now. I'm going to use the activate sketch tool, since we already have some outline here that we can work with. I think this is going to be expanded industry, which we're not quite ready for yet. I'm trying to think where the shield generator is going to go in our layout here. I think this is still going to be an auxiliary airlock here. I really wanted to make this section over here more grow beds, but I think it might make some sense to put some shields there. We could probably try to start rearranging stuff and make it more efficient. We have this empty space that had the recycler in it, so maybe we can just dismantle that and reclaim all that space. Let's go ahead and do that. So we're gonna be releasing a little bit of toxic gas here, but we have adequate gas scrubbing coverage, so it's not like a major threat to the crew. Might make this area briefly uninhabitable, but it should be cleaned up quickly. This will give us a lot of flexibility in our space here. Incoming micrometeoroids. I don't like to hear that. We got 4 trade transactions going, so we're gonna go ahead and weather this storm. Close all of our vents. We also want to bring back... We don't have any mining pods out right now except for this guy. I'm going to prepare for jump because that's going to cause the mining pod to be recalled, I believe. Let's everybody get their spacesuits on. Now notice that the prisoners are all heading to the airlock here to get their spacesuits on, and we left a path for them to be able to do that. That's an important consideration to keep your prisoners alive during a disaster. I think we made that okay there. So I just enabled the hyperjump only so that people wouldn't leave the ship, like they wouldn't go in the mining pods and continue the whole construction. So you don't want people to get concussions from asteroid strikes. It's unfortunate that we lost that chair. I'm gonna go ahead and rebuild that as time permits. This needs repairs. You can look at these little streaks to kind of see where breaches are, but one of the easiest ways is to look at the vent view. I don't see anything here. There's a breach. It's actually all the way over here. This is dangerous because it could disable our navigation console, but Elaine is already on the case. He's got to go get his spacesuit first, it looks like. Yeah. So we've actually lost navigation. Oh no, this is a light that got broken. Never mind. Getting a lot of hull breaches this time around. Guess because our ship's starting to get big, maybe. This needs to be repaired so we can have bridge power, and so does that. We're gonna need energy blocks, I realized, to build the shields. I think we should have enough right now, currently. Okay, so crisis averted, where you flip off the spacesuit requirements so that our crew can eventually sleep, and then we can open up our vents again. And let's continue our demolition here. We're going to want to move these thermal regulators somewhere. I kind of want to cordon off the generators away from everything else. Generators generate so much discomfort, as well as, you know, electricity. I think I'm going to actually leave these wall segments here. We're going to continue this wall here. Oh, that's inaccessible. Whoops. We'll dismantle that so that they can rebuild that wall segment. I don't like this because nobody can get through this area here once the wall's built, I think. Oh no, they can actually. They can get behind here. So maybe that's okay. I'll go ahead and put a door here. And we're gonna put another door here. Not there. Because I want this to be a wall here. So this is probably gonna be like our first shield generator. It's gonna be in this compartment. That's what I'm thinking. Let's go ahead and put another door here. So once we have some of these walls built, then we can relocate these thermal regulators. Temperature's already getting a little bit warm. Let's take off of our jump drive here and go back to normal operations. We still have one trade transaction we want to complete. We also have some hull construction we still want to do here. I think this light is going to have to be replaced by a door. We might make this a window. Let's make this a window like we have it on the other side. There we go. Merchant Federation is calling us. They want something specific. Let's see what it is. Hey there, fellow spacefarer. They want 5 hull blocks. We can produce hull blocks, so let's go ahead and sell them. We still have our assembler here with 11 hull block production queued, so yeah, we can afford to sell them 5. Now, when they specifically ask for a resource like that, they offer a much higher price than they normally would, so it's usually a good deal, depending on the resource. We're gonna buy a bunch more ice because we're just eating through it so quickly here. We still have 14, which is okay. We're gonna sell these guys some plastic while they're in the neighborhood, and some chemicals. Our industry is getting backlogged now because we have so much stuff suddenly going on with all this trading that we're doing in construction. We could sell a little bit of hyperfuel because they really want hyperfuel. Let's sell like 2 units. They can't afford 2 units, so we'll sell 1. It's always, you can never have too much ice. It's like energy. You can never have too much energy, never have too much ice. Do these guys have pretty cheap energy, so let's buy some more while we're here too. And now we could just pretty much, you know, with 13,000 credits, we can just buy what we want when we want, which is where we want to be. So we're expanding. I think by the time we get done with this whole construction, we're going to be beyond our current jump capacity, which is up here. So we're going to want to, so we're going to want to expand our hull a little bit down here as well and get another hyperdrive. I just want to quickly measure and make sure we're trying to stay symmetrical. 19 from the edge of that. Maybe 19 from the edge of that. Let's erase it. So we want another 3 squares here for another hyperdrive, and another 3 squares here for another hyperdrive eventually on the other side. I think the ship is a little bit right side heavy because of this airlock gap, so let's put the extra engine on the right side for now. Starboard side. This mining station is really doing us some favors. Okay, and here comes the whole construction again. Okay, looks like we haven't been recruiting Connor yet, so let's start recruiting Connor. I'm gonna go ahead and we got some weird dangling wall segment going on here. Let's fix that. I'll put a door here. This isn't really a good place for a door, actually. Is it? I mean, it's good to get to the metal refinery, so yeah, I think it's helpful. And then in here we're gonna build a shield generator as soon as we have the technology. I'm gonna move this thermal regulator. Let's put it by the door over here. Probably gonna need some ventilation in here. We'll figure that out in a minute. I want to get the shield generator placed first if we can. Okay, that whole construction is done, so now we should be working on the new hyperdrive hull. Here we go. There it is, and let's check our power grid. Looks like this is already covered, maybe? Maybe not. We'll see. Ultra Zap. Nice ship name. We can buy stuff from these guys as well. I don't think we need to buy tons and tons of water anymore. We got lots of ice. We should probably increase our ice production thresholds if we're not already at 20. Yeah, so we're gonna add another water production rule. to go up to 20. Merchant Federation wants more resources from us. What do they want? They want 3 units of carbon. I mean, we just bought all their carbon, and for like 70 credits a piece. I don't think this is a good deal because they're just buying back the same stuff that they sold us. Yeah, we understand. Resources are hard to come by these days. They're so sad. Sorry. I guess you made a bad trade. I don't know. All right. I think I want to have a door here if we can afford it in terms of space, and I think we can. Fire. Fire bad. Do we still have everybody wearing spacesuits? No, it's only a couple people in certain areas. I guess it was because of the fire. It might be because of heat. This room is actually very hot, so they have to don spacesuits to get in here. That's inefficient. So we have a bunch of ventilation going out into this hallway. One thing that we can do to make the heating and cooling more efficient overall is to add more vents so that the heat dissipates throughout the ship. That way we don't have to spend as much energy heating. So let's go ahead and add some more vents to get heat out of engineering into other sections of the ship. Because the rate of flow of heat from one section to another is based on the total amount of like ventilation, the connectedness to adjacent areas. I think we are a little short of thermal regulators though, so we're gonna have to build another one. Let's build one right next to the generator over here. And again, I'm waiting for the shield generator to be done so I can plunk that down before I lay out the rest of this room. We're running into a power demand problem, so that's going to be an issue. I think we're doing too much industry is what the problem is. We're going to temporarily... What's our fertilizer like? We have enough fertilizer for a little while, because they don't use up fertilizer very quickly, so we're going to temporarily shut down our chemical refinery. Shield generator research is done, but again, I don't want to build one yet because they take up so much energy. I think the next thing we need is we can either upgrade our power generator or we can start building some solar panels. I think I want to get the generator upgrade first because it's a bit more efficient. Solar panels take a lot of material to build, and we don't have tech block manufacturing online yet. Oops. The Ultra Zap has left the sector. I think we need to wall off our crew quarters from the industry section here. They probably shouldn't have our people sleeping in the machine shop. I'm going to leave a couple extra spaces there so we can fit another bed in the corner once we've demolished and moved this. And I think this light is going to go away because I want this space to be a door into the machine shop. Actually, we already have a door into the machine shop through the bathroom, so maybe we don't need to do that. Let's leave that the way it is. That way we won't get as much discomfort from the machinery in our crew quarters. Let's take a look at the discomfort levels. So right now, this is pretty comfortable. We have a lot of discomfort in here because it's not walled off yet. We're going to go ahead and build a door there and finish that wall. That should help. And then we have a little space over here that we don't know what to do with yet. That could be the shields if we wanted to, but I kind of had the idea that they were going to be over here, so... although maybe this would make more sense as industry. Maybe let's do the shields over here. We're going to delete this to make room. Okay, and then I'm going to put in some lights. I don't really like how dark it is over on this part of the crew quarters, and we need some power. Trying to minimize the overlap here. I don't like how this is kind of in the middle of the room. I think this should be okay. I think we're going to go ahead and build a shield generator. We just won't connect up the power for it yet. I'm going to have that in this corner here. So the shield generator, it's 3x3, and it's got like a little apron on one side, and that spot is where the energy cells gets put into the shield generator. The location of that little apron is somewhat important because that determines how fast our crew members are going to be able to restock the shields with energy cells when the ship is under duress. So let's think about... I think what I want to do is I want to have a local energy cell storage that's kind of close by here. I think they can get through here easily enough, so this should be okay. We're going to have a small local storage, kind of like an energy cell locker, right next to the shield generator right here. Let's check our fertilizer levels again. We're still at 6. Man, that stuff goes slowly. So I'm hoping we can upgrade to the X3 soon. Critical resources low, hull block. That's okay, that's just a matter of time, manufacturing time. We have plenty of base metals and carbon to manufacture with. Let's move on to the next sector. Okay, so we got a lot of profit out of this sector. That was pretty nice. Here we're picking up some energy crystals, which is also very nice. And we're getting some additional carbon as well. I don't think we need to pick up noble metals right now. We got 30 already. Legrand has been recruited. Legrand Blonde. Sounds like a James Bond spoof. Doesn't even have blonde hair, which is a bit weird. He's good at industry, which is fantastic. We need more industry right now. And he's also good at navigation. He could be a potential away team member with a negative 16% surrender chance. He's not very accurate, though, with a low weapon skill and perception that's not particularly good. But, you know, he could be a passable fighter. We're going to put him on the second shift, I think. Let's see. Legrand is going to be our second shift industry person. Let's check how our unstored items is doing. It's still pretty up there. Our free jobs has gone way down though, which is good. So I think this is the sleep cycle up here when we have 17 free jobs. Now it's jumped down to the single digits during the day, which is all right. Could get a couple more crew members and have a third shift if we wanted to make sure there was no gaps. So this storage here is especially for energy cells for this shield generator. So I'm going to select all here, and I'm going to set a storage rule to empty out everything except for energy cells. And then I'm going to set a minimum of 2 energy cells. So at least 2, but any number of energy cells can be stored here. And we see that an energy cell also got loaded into the shield generator, so as soon as we hook up the power, that's ready to go. I'm going to try to hold out for the X2 before we do that. Might have to do some rearranging of this room once we get the X2 online. I think we might want to move the water purifier to a different location. Let's see how our composts... We still don't have enough composting, I think. We're up to 192 again. Let's go ahead and add another composter in our industry section here. There we go. I think I'm going to have this one also use alien corpses, because we have so many of them still. Let's prioritize, actually, the alien corpses over the biomatter. So that should help start clearing our inventory of stuff on the ground here. That's all done. We're not linking the power yet. We're gonna wait on that. And we're done with this sector. Have raw chemicals up here. What was our next destination? I think we wanted to go down through the android sector, right? Yeah, let's go androids, then safe sector, and then the resource-rich sector. Actually wonder... Yeah, let's do it that way. I'm kind of thinking, I'm debating whether I want to go to the resource-rich sector and then pick some fights after I go there, because there's going to be tons of stuff that we're going to pick up there. We're going to be able to build, like, our second ship probably after we get through that. Maybe we make a beeline for that, and then we double back and do the safe sector and everything else. Here's some Hyperium, always welcome. Let's get our chemical refinery back online, because we are going to eventually need more fertilizer and stuff. And I think our power nodes are all charged up again at this point. Becoming solar flare. Not a huge fan of that. What we can actually do... So the shield actually helps, to a limited extent, protect against solar flares. I'm going to actually hook up the shields, and we'll see how they fare. So let's get this online. So now that the shield is active, we're going to see a crew member go to the shield console, and the shields are going to charge up. Well, as soon as somebody's available to do it anyway. Here we go. So he's working to recharge the shields, and every individual task that he does here, the shields are going to charge a little bit. You can see that there's a second health bar, a blue bar here, appearing under the first bar. So the first bar on top is our hit points, and the second bar on the bottom is our shield total. Each stabilizer is worth 50 hit points when it's fully charged up, which just happens over time. And the shield, when it's charged up by a crew member with the help of an energy cell, is worth 25. The advantage of shield generators is that they can be recharged by crew members during combat working at the shield console. They also protect against meteorite showers, and they protect somewhat against solar flares. So we'll see that in a minute here, because I want to stick around in the sector and do the mining. Trying to figure out if I can put... Oh, I was going to put another bed back there, right? So I won't put a door there. Although, I feel like it would be really nice to have another door there. I think I'm going to make that a door instead of a bed. Yeah. I just feel like it's nice to be able to have the crew get from the bedroom directly to the shield area to recharge the shields with energy cells. Do we stick around for the solar flare just so I can show you guys the impact of the shields? I don't think it makes a whole lot of sense to do that. We'll see that eventually in another sector. Oh, wait. I guess we didn't have the option. So here comes the solar flare. We can see that it's damaging the shields, and the shields are getting drained. We can try to shut down our generators to reduce the damage a little bit, but it's probably too late for that at this point. So would you look at that? We actually lucked out here. We had no fires on board. It didn't even drain one entire shield. Sometimes even if you have multiple shields, you'll still get a fire on board somewhere from a solar flare, but we lucked out this time. So the shield completely protected us from the flare. That's pretty sweet. And we finished it just in time, too. We're gonna go into a nebula. Our shields are already low, but you'll see them get completely drained when we drop in here, just like I was talking about earlier. The crew member won't try to charge the shields while you're in a nebula. Once they go down, they're down. See how quickly they disappeared there. And we got an icon saying that it's disabled by Nebula. By the way, you can also disable the charging of shields manually in this menu here. This is the weapons and attack systems menu. So if you wanted to prevent the shields from being charged, you can click on this individual shield system here, and you can click on the stop charging button. I find that there's usually no reason to do that, but that's an option if you want it. Let's see. Might be like if you wanted to conserve energy or something like that, or you wanted to, you know, you had a limited number of energy cells, you want to decide which shield gets charged and which one doesn't, that kind of thing. It's very, like, a niche feature, I think. We go ahead and check out this derelict. We're no longer in the alien sector, so we shouldn't see too stiff resistance, knock on wood. We should be past the hard part as far as fighting aliens is concerned. And Mary Shelley was the big thing. And we have an extra crew member there, which is nice. I was thinking before we had enough crew members, but now that we have a little more grow bed capacity and a little more resources, I think we actually could use a handful more, you know, 2 or 3 more crew members maybe. We're going to go in here. So, by the way, these things can be destroyed by weapons fire, so you want to be careful around them. You know, you want to make sure that you're not firing at them while you're fighting. Let's get this guy out of there quickly so he can help out here. Now, usually when I first rescue a guy from the pod, if there's aliens still on board, I'll bring him with the rest of the crew for 2 reasons. One is his safety, so he doesn't wander off and get killed on his own. And the other is that if a crew member falls unconscious, he could potentially pick up whatever weapon they dropped on the, you know, from their body. We actually have a lot of aliens here, so we're going to back up a little bit and let them come to us. We're going to focus fire on this guy. Asgoff, who's currently under attack, is going to move a little bit back. And these 3 guys in the back here are going to look that way. Oh, this is actually quite a mess. We actually have another one of those big guys coming from here. I think we're going to have these guys retreat into this hallway. We're going to have Catherine retreat into this hallway. And yeah, that's good. We actually might suffer some casualties here. This is like the most aliens we've seen in the game so far in one place. I think we kind of have a good choke point set up though, so as long as we're vigilant, we're okay. We have one person who got knocked unconscious here, Gwen, but she's not seriously injured and she still has all of her oxygen and everything. So I think we're okay there. We can open this door now. I mean, technically. Man, that was a busy alien hive. That's a lot of eggs. We're gonna have a lot more problems if we don't get rid of the big ones quick. Let's go this way and try to get rid of them. We're gonna leave Gwen where she is, but we'll come back for her later. Because I don't think there's a serious risk that we're gonna lose our entire crew here. So I'm not worried about evacuating her as long as she's conscious and able to function. She is too tired. She's gonna go back to one of the shuttles here on her own. Oh, she actually passed out again. She was briefly awake. There we go. We'll just move these guys in the middle and let them go to town. Actually, I'm a little bit low on oxygen. I really want to clear out these eggs before we leave this area. And we're going to have somebody pick up the Gwen on the way out since she's unconscious. Let's undraft most of these guys. I'm going to grab Catherine, who's at basically full health. And Catherine is going to pick up Gwen and go back to one of the shuttles here. Our guys are mad because they're out of oxygen. They're stressed. That should be fixed in a second. Okay, so Hawkeye's left on board here. He's taking a break. While you're taking a break, why don't we grab this item? Everybody's fine now because they have access to the shuttles and they're undrafted, so we don't have to worry about them running out of oxygen now. We are going to undraft the shuttles now, so we can resume normal operations. Oh, we found a tech block. That's a nice find. A little bit of food, too. Always good. An energy cell. Some Hyperium. Yeah. This is a pretty good haul. Definitely worth... Gwen somehow got left behind here. So it's important to keep an eye on stuff like this. When you have a crew member that's, like, unconscious and running out of oxygen, sometimes weird stuff happens. We're going to have Hawkeye go and give her oxygen from his tank. So I just clicked on this icon over here. That'll ensure she survives until the shuttle gets there. We'll undraft him. There's 2 people on board this shuttle already. And one of the crew members actually just automatically went and picked up Gwen and put her on the shuttle since the shuttle was there. So that's pretty good. I don't know why she got off the shuttle in the first place is the only thing. But that's okay. I think we're finally maybe starting to thin the herd of bodies here. Let's see. Yeah, we're down from like 40 unstored items to 30, so we're slowly grinding through this compost, I think. We might even need one more composter still. Oh, there's another data hand terminal thing there that I missed. Credits, 11. 25 credits. The shield is disabled by the nebula still. That's okay. Alright, and we are done with this ship. So before we get into another potential ship-to-ship fight, we got to make sure that we recharge our shields. When we're doing boarding actions, it's also a really good idea to leave somebody behind on our ship who has the shield skill, so that they can recharge the shields while the ship is under fire. We'll talk about ship-to-ship combat in a later episode once we actually have some weapons so we can shoot back. I hope I'm going the right way here. See you in a minute. There's another nebula. Here we go. This looks right. Okay, the shields are re-enabled, so we're going to wait for them to be charged up again before we move on to the next sector. Let's check our energy cell supply to make sure we still got enough. We're down to 11 from the 16 that we had earlier, so the robots are using them up and the shield generator is also using them up now. We don't have enough beds for the prisoners. That's okay, he's still likely to convert. We recruited Karsten. There we go, he freed up a prison bed. Karsten is probably another industry person, industry and medical. He's good with weapons, but not especially brave. So we're gonna go ahead and put him on second shift, I think. How many guys do we have on second shift? Let's check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then that's about 50-50. I think that's okay. We might start a third shift with these last couple guys that are here, and maybe move some people from second shift to third shift. What's happening here? So this is interesting. The prisoner actually got into a fist fight with Elaine. Now this is not a prisoner rebellion. As far as I can see, this is just a social thing that happens sometimes. People get stressed and pissed off and they fight with each other. And sometimes somebody gets a black eye. So we could see that Elaine got hit here. He's got a debuff from having a black eye. Probably because he's exhausted and stressed out from his away mission. Let's go and send him to get some rest. He also has no food in his system, so he's not feeling well at all. He didn't get a chance to eat, it looks like. I think the crew doesn't have enough food still. Where are we gonna put more grow beds? I don't want to use that. I want to use that for a hyperdrive. I think we'd put... I don't want to put grow beds over in this corner because all this industry stuff tends to generate a lot of heat. We could put another couple grow beds in this hallway. I think that's a good place to start. We currently have like basically no food surplus, so... Yeah, I mean this is like nothing, right? It's just one extra... Just 2 extra grow beds. And every little bit helps, but we want to have more than that, I think. We could think about putting some in the crew section, because I think they generate comfort, if I remember correctly. Yeah, these actually make the room more comfortable, so we can put some little, like, mini grow beds in here if they'll fit. That'll work. Just have some plants to make it nice for the crew, and also give them a little bit of extra food. This will be somebody's like private vegetable garden. And we can put another little one in the middle here. Trying to reserve this space for like weapons, and this space is going to be more industry. And our shield is charged at this point. I'm going to go ahead and set up the grow beds real quick before we move on to the next sector. So let's make sure we have some vegetables. Let's get some fruits and seeds and nuts. Artificial meat. The nice thing about having grow beds in the crew quarters also is that the grow beds produce oxygen, so the crew that are sleeping here can make use of that oxygen. Although the amount they produce isn't large. It's, I know from watching somebody else's, my buddy Seeger's playthrough on Twitch, that you can't actually produce enough oxygen from grow beds to provide for the ship's entire crew. It's just not possible. Like, the balance of resources doesn't work out. So you need to have at least 1 or 2 oxygen generators to supplement. It's an interesting experiment. Okay. Go ahead and get our intrepid away team back together. We're suffering some protein deficiencies, by the way. That's the thing we want to keep an eye on. Let's see. Now this is a really good entry point because we have kind of like multiple different areas that we can float towards. We can either go into this section or we can go into the other section over there. So we'll go wherever the aliens are and try to wipe them out as quickly as possible, as usual. Alright, let's see. Okay, and the aliens are actually in this section, so we're gonna mosey on over here and shoot some eggs. I don't really want crew members to go around that way. Fortunately, there's no way to prevent it, I don't think. Oh, maybe let's shoot that. I guess there's no way through there because of these little weird broken eggs. They're just like little souvenirs. Aliens left behind for us. Here we go. Micrometeoroids. So we'll see that the shields actually completely protect us from micrometeoroids. Even if there's nobody at the bridge station that manning the shields, 1 shield is usually enough to do it. They do reduce the shield's total hit points when they hit, but they don't usually do tons and tons of damage. We're gonna wait until after the meteor shower to claim this claimable ship. can see the meteors hitting the shields, which is kind of fun. Okay, and the shower's over now. Oop, power outages, we don't want that. Disabling chemical production again for a minute. And we're going to disable assembly for a minute. How are we doing on the X2? We're at 64% only. I think we might want to build a 4th research station. Maybe we'll build one temporarily in this shield area. So we can look at our individual nodes here and see how much power is charged up. We could introduce some extra nodes to even out the load a little bit. Let's do that for now. We don't have power capacity nodes yet, which are like batteries. I'm going to leave this out so that we can access these things for repairs and damage control for fires. Okay, so this is going to be kind of like our low-budget battery bank. We're going to go ahead and hook that in here. And then this will be hooked over there. And we can also hook this in here, why not? Okay, we got our batteries all charged up now, so let's try the industry again. Now we can claim the mentor, and this is going to give us some nice tech blocks. Now this is interesting, we actually have an X3 power generator on offer here, and we have the resources at this point in the game that we could build this up as a second ship if we wanted to. Right now, I don't think that we get a huge benefit from that. The main benefit from building a second ship is to have additional system points available. So if I look at my ship over here, the number of system points that are available is determined by the size of the ship. Currently we have 10 out of 16 system points available. Each individual square on the overall space grid is worth 4 system points. So this is 4, 8, 12, 16 for this 2x2 ship. This is a 2x1, so it would have another 8 system points. That's mainly important when you're adding weapons and shields and stuff like that. So if you hover over one of these things in the system menu, the little gear icon on the left end here tells you how many system points that system takes up. So the shield that we just built takes up 2 system points. The other 4 are taken up by the 2 hull stabilizers that we have already on board. Let's go ahead and I want to demolish this. So the main benefit of having a second ship is having extra weapons, basically. It costs in the sense that there are logistical costs for maintaining multiple ships because you have to shuttle resources back and forth between one ship and the other. You can also have ships that are specialized to a purpose, like you can build a ship that's just for mining, and that way you can park your main, your main trading ship in one location and park your mining ship, in another location that's closest to the minerals, that kind of thing. I think that's a bit less efficient than just building some extra mining pods, but that's an option as well. If you have multiple ships, it also makes some sense to break up the skills into groups. So you might have one ship that's like a farming ship and one ship that's like your industry skills, where you're producing all the stuff that needs to be produced. So that's a good thing to think about. But the main benefit, again, is having more weapons available, basically. Let's see. And more overall durability for your fleet. If one of your ships gets destroyed, you could potentially try to repair it with the resources that are on the other ship. Let's see. Just dismantle everything here that's useful and valuable. And I'm going to turn off the automatic cleanup. Yeah, that's it for this guy. So this should net us a couple more extra tech blocks and energy blocks. The fire is on board the Auriga. What do we have going on here? Looks like the fire went out already. I guess somebody put it out. Starting to run a little bit low on energy again. We're down to 12, and we're using it up a lot faster than we did earlier in the game. So 12 is a lot lower, relatively speaking. Also, still keeping an eye on our energy cells. I think we're going to need an optronics fabricator right after we get the X2. Kronos, welcome aboard. So we're saying Kronos was going to be third shift. Mining, botany, and operations. He's good with weapons, he's a good fighter, and he's lazy, which means he works less quickly than normal, which is okay. Doesn't really cause any major problem for us. Go ahead and erase Kronos' schedule here. Kronos is going to be able to socialize with the second shift here. Give him the standard schedule, offset a little bit, and let's move somebody. Who does Kronos get along with? Let's check. So in the conditions menu, we can check and see the relationship between crew members, which is not something I worry about a lot, but it can be useful. He really likes Anna Cortez. Unfortunately, I think she's not an away team member, so we're going to move her to his shift. Maybe we'll also move Matthew Stanford if he's not an away team member. Yeah, so we're moving Matthew and Anna to third shift. Copy Kronos' schedule and paste it on Anna, and paste it on Matthew. There we go. So now we can run the ship 24/7, which is pretty cool. Depending on the skills of those 3 crew members that I put on third shift, there might be certain ship functions that won't happen at certain times. But everybody has at least a 1 in navigation, so we should be able to at least continue moving the ship from sector to sector while the rest of the crew is sleeping or having coffee. I'm going to manually speed up these transfers by manually making the change here. Let's take a look at our unstored items. We're still up in the 30s. We still don't have enough compost. At least they're all working. Maybe let's activate a little more hull here. We're going to expand this industry room and just add some more composters. And we could potentially also add another grow bed or 2 here as well. I would have liked to have these. I normally put these with their backs to the wall. The only reason I did this is because I didn't feel like moving this thermal regulator. So it has this slightly wacky arrangement now because of that. That's okay. Let's see. Resources. I'm going to slap down like 2 more composters because I just want the compost to go away. I don't want it to be a thing anymore. Taking up 100 storage. And then that'll leave us a little bit of room. I can't put this in because even though it'll technically fit there, the crew members won't be able to walk through this door anymore, so it doesn't make a lot of sense for me to do that. So we're going to do the little tiny ones, which are a bit less space efficient. Yeah, it's going to have to be just the 1. What's the 1 food that we need a little bit extra production of? We're going to make it vegetables, because vegetables are kind of cheap to produce. Let's look at our status and see if anybody has any particular malnutrition. Looks like we're producing enough now that... I just noticed that Gwen has a suicidal trait. Did we give her a special schedule? Let's check. So suicidal crew members, depending on how stressed out they are, there's a chance that they can try to kill themselves. And there's, I think there's 2 ways that they can do that. They can either, like, lock themselves in a room and start a fire, or they can lock themselves in a room and poison themselves. So in the one case, they just have to wait out the poison, with the help of a medical bed. In the other case, they have to, obviously be rescued from the fire. And then, that'll continue happening as long as they stay stressed out. So what I like to do to mitigate stress is to give the crew member a little bit of extra rest in the middle of their day. And that way we can continue to take advantage of their skills. Just like treating a, disability or something in real life. We just need to give them a little bit of extra leeway, and then they can be productive just like anybody else. So, we give them that flexibility, and then we get the benefit of having that extra crew member and her construction and shield skills. Okay. Let's see. And I think we're gonna grow some extra veggies here. Okay. So we've completely stripped all of the critical systems. We actually missed one energy block here. Let me just get that real quick. We could, if we wanted to, recycle some hull, but we don't really need to do that, I think. I've got to turn off the hyper jump in order for our crew to be able to go over there and do the salvage. Power generator. Alright, we got the X2 online, sweet. So the next thing is the optronics fabricator, so we can produce energy cells for our robots, because we are going to run out of them at some point here. I mean, only 8 that we have right now. Our optronics fabricator... Or sorry, we're building the X2 generator, right? So X2 is going to... We're gonna see how we can try to fit it into these rooms that we have here. I think we need to move the water purifier in order to make that work. Let's have the water purifier in here with the composter, because it's so critical to our ship's operations. I'm gonna build a new one, set up all the rules, and then demolish the old one. Okay, here's our water purifier. So we're gonna set some rules. And again, we're setting multiple rules so that the logistics, the job won't get starved out by other industry jobs. And let's see, we want to use up the fractional ice units that are in this unit, so that's 4 water we can produce from the remaining ice block that's there. Okay, I got one more. Here comes Lenny to finish the work here. So now we have a full unit of ice, so we can dismantle this. We'll get that little bit of extra space back, and that will enable us to upgrade this generator to an X2. Let's see, can I move this power node? I have a feeling that the answer is no. Let's see. Not really. So we could think about moving out this stuff and having like a secondary life support area. This is not an efficient use of space, this weird 1 square thermal regulator back here that's like completely walled in. This is kind of some junk that we set up, at the very beginning when we were first building the ship that we could probably optimize now to try to save some space here. But I also want to keep this corridor intact because we want to have a comfortable place where our crew members can walk without suffering so much noise from the machinery. I think we have enough room down here that we could move some life support stuff down here. Let's go ahead and move this oxygen generator this gas scrubber. I'm gonna face this towards the door so it can take smoke from this other room more easily. And then I think we can maybe shift this power node slightly up to against the wall here to make room for the X2. And I do want to get rid of this as well and move this somewhere else. Our tools facility. I think over here would be okay. But there's nothing we can really do with this space is the only problem here. If I made this a door, we could potentially, you know, have some efficiency there. Let's see. There's this little tiny back area there, and then we can still put our thermal regulator in here as a wall regulator, which generates the same amount of heat and everything as a floor regulator does. So we're gonna go ahead and just doing a little optimizing of our layout here. The other thing we could have done, I guess, is put a power node back in that corner, but I think that would have messed up our grid a little too much. Actually, you know what? No, I take it back. Let's do that, because that's going to enable us to upgrade to the X3 later with that extra square of space on this end of the room. Excuse me. So I'm gonna wall that off again. We're gonna put a power node in the back here. We're gonna have to figure out another probably wall node or floor node to connect to this guy, but everything else should be connected. Okay. Okay, now let's see what this guy's connected to. This guy is connected over there and to this generator directly. We're gonna connect him to the generator directly and over there. And can this guy connect over to here? He can't. So for now, I'm gonna maintain this. We don't strictly need this connection, actually, because it's connected through this other node here. So maybe I'll just leave that alone like that. Now, this, I don't want to waste all the energy that's stored in this node here, so I'm going to use an uplink to drain it into some adjacent nodes. And as soon as that's empty, or more or less empty, then we can demolish it. We've actually used up a lot of energy while we're working on this, so we've got to be mindful of that. In order to upgrade this to an X2, we want to shut down all of our industry so we're not using more energy than we have available. The only thing we're going to run is the energy refinery, because that's kind of an essential system to keep our generators in energy rods. So we shut down the assembler, the metal refinery, and the chemical refinery. And with that done, we're going to go ahead and dismantle this X1. Now let's compare the efficiency of the X1 and then the X2. So the X1 generator generate for 0.002 energy rods generates 15 power units. The X2 for the same amount of energy fraction of an energy rod generates 25 power units. So it's almost but not quite twice as efficient as the X1. It's a big improvement. Unfortunately, I don't know if we have enough space to build another X2 over here. We might have to demolish 2 of these X1s and replace it with an X2. So the rate of power generation is important. I think it'll be okay to replace these 2 X1s with an X2. We'll see about that in a second. Let's get this guy online first. I'm leaving a little... Let's leave a little passage, and then this row of squares over here is going to be the space where we upgrade to the X3 later on. Okay, so we got that upgraded. Oops, I didn't mean to do the directional node there. Nope. There we go. And let's join that to here. Okay, the X2 is running. Now, before we resume our industry, I'm going to upgrade these 2 X1s and replace them with a single X2. I think we should still generate enough power. We're going to, with 3 X1s, we had 45 per time unit. with 2 X2s, we're getting 50 for time unit, so it's a slight improvement in our total output and a huge efficiency improvement. In an ideal world, we could fit another X1 and an X2 side by side here, or maybe a third X2. But I think we're gonna have to live with this setup for now. We might remodel this room a little bit later when we get the X3. We'll move stuff around again, eliminate one of these power nodes, and expand this, move this wall back a square to make room for that. Let's put this here, here, and here. There we go. Okay, so we've upgraded our generators to the X2 gens, which should save us a lot of energy over time. Now that we've got all that major construction done, we're going to resume our industry. And we're going to jump to the next sector. And we're leaving behind the HSS Mentor, which is our claimable ship that we dismantled. An android ship. Where are we headed here? We're in the android sector, so we're going to encounter a lot of android ships, I guess. We're making a beeline for the resource-rich sector, so let's see if we can go straight there, more or less. We get a blue crystal here. I hope this is worth it. I don't know if it's worth losing the energy cell. We'll see. So we're going to lose an energy cell from our shield dropping here. For 5 energy crystals, it's probably worth it. Especially since our energy crystal supply is a bit low. Okay, now that that's done, let's move on. Okay, we have a derelict here. We have some carbon on offer up ahead, and some raw chemicals that we'll pick up on the way out of the sector. I think we're gonna just grab all that stuff. With 40 units of carbon, we could probably afford to increase our plastic production. Our away team is sleeping, but they seem to be mostly well rested. Eden has a little bit of protein deficiency, but that's okay. Let's see. Enter on this side because it's a little bit wider and a little bit deeper into the middle of the ship. Maybe we found a rare alienless derelict. Oh, it's rare and harsh difficulty anyway. Looks like we're in the clear. Explore the Infinity's Edge. There's no cargo on board, which is a bit weird. Go figure. Connor, welcome aboard. You're gonna join the 3rd shift. Let's see what you do. Botany and industry, very good. So we might see our food supply start to catch up a little bit now. Doesn't look like we're having any such luck. We definitely need a couple more grow beds. Let's figure out where those are going to go, because I have to build them eventually somewhere. I don't want them to be over here. I think we're gonna have to extend out this area a little bit. Maybe we make it staggered just for aesthetics. Something like this. Let's see, so this would be 1, 2, 3. That'll be good, yeah. Here we go. What we could actually do, we can move the shields to the outer section here. I don't want to do that now because we don't have any energy cells. We could eventually move the shields to the outer section, and then we could have those outer rows be like shields and weapons. And then the inner sections could be just the grow beds on both sides. So with that in mind, I'm going to sketch one more hull over here to allow this to be big enough to fit shields along with their energy units and storage potentially. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 6. Yeah, so we can put a storage in the middle there. That'll be good. Let's get to the next sector before we begin that whole construction. There we go. So we're gonna wall this off here. I think we can put a single door there. And for now, this is all gonna be grow beds. Perfect. Actually, let me see if we can fit 2 of the big ones in here. I think they might be slightly... Yeah, the space is slightly too small for that, so yeah, we're gonna use the little ones. We're gonna want some extra thermal regulation in there. So we'll take care of that in a moment. Now that the walls are there, we should be able to do that. Let's go ahead and add a third one. And maybe we'll put a vent in between these 2 spaces here, near where the thermal regulator is. We can actually put it in the same square that goes underneath. And we need power. The Happy Harlot, what a ship name. Okay, I think we're gonna buy some more energy cells since we're down to 8 and we have tons of money. These things are a bit expensive, so I don't want to buy them too often, but I think it makes sense for us to do it here. We're gonna go ahead and sell a couple of super blocks. We have tons of carbon, so we can sell all of our plastic. And we can afford to sell some raw chemicals, which we'll be picking up more of shortly. Or, sorry, processed chemicals, because we'll be picking up more raw chemicals shortly. And let's sell like 1 unit of hyperfuel. It's a pretty good trade for us. So we're gonna have to make a cut in our power grid here. Here we go. trying to think if there's any way we can lay this out a little more efficiently, but I think is what it's going to be. I think we should have enough botanists now to manage all this stuff. Might have a logistics bottleneck with the grow beds. I think we do have like 3 botanists on board though, so we should be alright. At least 3. Let's make this a window, because why not? Too big. There we go. No, I don't care about the noble metals. We're gonna go after this raw chemical supply here. I think we are gonna check out this other derelict up there. Then we're gonna head towards the resource-rich sector again. We're getting this object not on power grid. I have 1 storage that's not on my generator grid. Okay. You know what? We're gonna go ahead and just plunk a power node down just for you. Here we go. This can actually tie these grids together, so that's kind of a nice fringe benefit. We might want to try to squeeze in 1 more mining pod so we don't have to wait for stuff to get gathered within the sector as long. But we have plenty of other stuff to do on the ship anyway most of the time. So oh, I forgot about the derelicts. Yeah, it's alright. I think this is the abundant resource sector. Let's check. Oh no, we're still 1 sector away. Excuse me. Got a nice little crossfire kill box going over here. Aliens, I'll never know what hit him. Sadly, there's no aliens in that room. Not really, anyway. We got one of the big guys coming around here. We'll see him in a minute. There he goes. Oh, I didn't even get a swipe at us. That's pretty cool. So we definitely have some stuff going on board here. Let's try to be a bit cautious. Haven't seen any nest creep yet. Who's gonna open the door for us? That's a bit rude, buddy. I guess he changed his mind. Here he goes. Those guys can't actually reach us over here. So we can just shoot them from the other side. There we go. The Yakata has been salvaged. Ooh, we found some energy crystals and some food. That's nice. Let's take a look at our stored items. We're down to like 24 from the 26 or 28 that we had earlier. So it's still quite high. Our biomatter is still creeping upward. I think I was originally going to put another composter in here, then I completely forgot. I'm going to delete this one grow bed, and we're going to replace that with a composter, because I think we can fit a composter in there. What I'm actually going to do, I'm going to move this door over a couple spaces so that the composter can be behind this wall. There's already a wall here. Okay. Do I have rules set up for all the composters? I feel like they're... like we should have enough. I have two that are not doing anything. That's why. So maybe we don't need this extra composter, but I'm going to build it anyway. We can always demolish it later if it turns out to be more than we need. The Pathfinder is hanging out with us. Very cool. They don't want plastic. They could use some chemicals. They have no money. I think we could actually use some energy blocks. We're getting a bit low on energy blocks. These are difficult to manufacture. They require the advanced assembler, which we will have soonish, but we don't have currently. So it makes sense for us to buy that. We can also afford to buy a couple energy crystals here, even though they're a bit expensive, from this guy. I think we're okay for the energy cells for now. Yep, that should be good. Okay, so here's our new composter. Hopefully we should be able to burn through this supply of biomatter, conserve a lot of water in the process, and regain some storage space. Let's look at our storage over here. 238 out of 250. 47 out of 50. We're still pretty choked up. Our storage is pretty full. I wonder if we can squeeze in another robot. I think we can. Let's check. I want to leave room, if we can, for another oxygen generator. Yeah, I think it makes sense for the robot to go on the end of the island sideways here. There we go. So now we have 5 robot logistic stations, which is pretty cool. Alright, checking out this derelict. Heading down towards the resource-rich sector very soon here. Looks like we actually have some idle robots, so we've reached the point where we have enough crew and robots to handle all shipboard tasks currently. I wonder if we can blow up that table with the credit chits on it. I have no idea. Maybe we'll find out another time. I watch our oxygen a little bit here, but there's an what's it called? Airlock at the other end. So we don't have to worry too much. Got some plastic. Ooh, energy. Energy is good. Energy is the main thing that we're a bit low on right now. Everything else we have in abundance. Our unstored item counts got really low there for a while. It was down to 15. So we're definitely cranking through those corpses in the airlock here. See, these piles are getting a little bit sparse. Been collecting these things all game, and finally we get to get rid of them. And we get some water for our trouble. Not that we have a shortage of water now, but we want to use the resources since they're available to us. Timberline Drive. What do you have for me? You have some cheap energy cells. Let's stock up to 20 total. So we're gonna buy 7 here. Can still afford to sell a bunch of raw chemicals. Is there anything else that these guys want that we want to sell? We don't want to sell energy blocks or tech blocks. Not really. We could think about selling some carbon if we wanted to, but I don't think we necessarily want to do that. We're probably better off producing and selling plastic to somebody else. In fact, I'm going to increase our plastic production threshold from 5 to 10. Alright, Optronics Fabricator. So we got only a couple more things here. We could go to the final tier of the research tree, which gives us increased research speed, targeting jammer, which blocks incoming ship-to-ship combat, but it also prevents us from doing ship-to-ship combat, except for boarding. And the X3, which is the ultimate power generator. Other options, we could go into weapons, which I think is a distinct possibility. We could get a scanner, which is good for... it actually helps us a bunch with boarding combat if we're boarding a larger enemy ship, and it helps us detect solar flares. Enslavement facility, I'm not gonna go into that. I just think that this is offensive. I don't know why they have that in the game. Water collector is another water saver. We have tons of ice now, though, so we don't necessarily need it, and it takes a lot of electricity. What it does is it collects water vapor out of the air that's produced by crew members breathing and also by grow beds. So it uses electricity. It's basically a dehumidifier, right? Power capacity. These are batteries. These are pretty useful. We might want some of these. And they also work well with solar panels, which generate free energy over time in very small amounts. We can upgrade our hyperdrives, which saves us space and maybe makes our hyperfuel usage a little more efficient. I'm not entirely sure about that. Or we could get the ability to manufacture our own tech blocks or the salvage robots, or some comfort stuff for the crew. I think... tech blocks first or weapons first? I think we're going to go with advanced assembly first, because tech blocks will enable us to build basically everything else in the tree here, and then using raw materials, and then we can start to work on our second ship once we have tech block manufacturing capabilities. I think we've gathered everything that we need to from this sector. Let's build our optronics facility here. Optronics fabricator goes over here-ish. Looks like there's some toxic gas buildup. Let me just look at this real quick. I think the chemical refinery generated some hazardous gas. We don't have a gas scrubber that's really nearby. I'm gonna plant one over in this corner here. Is there a door? What's blocking that? That's the thermal regulator. Is it? Oh, there's an air vent there. Okay. That's a... Is it okay? I don't know. Trying to figure out what the best place to put this is. I think we can put it over here and it'll be alright. We'll see if that causes discomfort for the crew. If it does, we'll move it. And while that stuff's being built, we'll move on to the next sector. Yet another nebula. Let's interrupt the military alliance, see if they want to trade. I think these are the guys we already traded with, though. The tetanus not included. Maybe we haven't seen this one yet. I'm not sure. I think we've traded with these guys before. So we're just gonna mine here. Alright, optronics fabricator, so now we can finally produce the precious energy cells that our robots need, although we only have 4 electronics components, and each energy cell takes an electronic component, so we're going to run out of those soon. Do we have the capacity to manufacture electronics components? We do, so we're okay there. So let's manufacture of less than 10, just like the other things. We want to manufacture a bunch of these if we're really low. And I think let's go for like 16 of them as our maximum production. Optronics components, we don't need to produce many of these. These are intermediate products that are used to produce tech blocks and I think also energy blocks. So those are really useful, but we don't necessarily need to have a lot of them at any given time. And let's check our hull blueprint here. So this was going to be our other airlock. I think our advanced assembler, when we finish the research, is going to go in this back corner here. We got some cheap energy on offer here. That's pretty good. Military Alliance, they have a lot of plastic and stuff, so they're not that interesting to trade with. These guys, we can just sell them 10 units of plastic for 3,000 credits, which is fantastic for us. And we're just going to go ahead and buy 10 blue crystals. And we still are having some profit that we're making from that trade, so that's pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and buy another 10 crystals because we can. Is there anything else we want to sell here? I don't really want to sell the hyperfuel because when we build our second ship, we're going to start going through it more quickly. So I like to stockpile hyperfuel as much as possible unless I'm in dire financial straits. Yeah, let's leave it at that. When we get in the resource-rich sector, we'll get some additional energy crystal supplies. That should be enough for now. We also have to figure out where we're gonna make more storage eventually. There's no real convenient place, I feel like. Maybe we could have one... Maybe we could have like an industry airlock over here and industry storage. Let's go ahead and build that, actually. So this is gonna be... I'm gonna go ahead and block this out so that we have room for the assembler when it's ready. We have the mass for it. And our ship is finally going to start to be almost symmetrical. Except for this hole in the middle. And we're still missing an engine on this side, I think. So we could save a little bit of space by eliminating some of the walls in our industry section here, but I like having multiple industry compartments because it cuts down on the noise just a little bit to make it more comfortable for the crew. I mean, it's still going to be uncomfortable, but it's going to be... There's degrees of discomfort, you know? And I think it affects how fast they get discomfort debuffs and how fast their energy gets drained. It might be worthwhile to have a door back here. I actually don't know if this is enough space for an advanced assembler. I think we might have to omit this wall here in order to fit that in the corner. Let's go ahead and delete that again. I'm going to move this over to... I think I'm going to wall this off here. Make this a door. This is going to be our advanced assembler. This is going to be another airlock. And then we have a little bit of wiggle room here to put in another storage, hopefully large storage. There we go. Oh yeah, that's nice. Okay, that's a good location. I like that. And we can put in a couple more small storages against the wall here. Let's go ahead and do that. So now we want our ship to be efficient, though. We have to kind of examine our storage usage and decide what goes where. I think it makes sense for the intermediate products, like the optronics components are going to come here. Where are they? Optronics components, bring here. What other intermediate components do we have? Steel plates, bring them here. Electronics components, bring them here. Actually, it probably makes more sense to set minimums. Set a minimum of 2 steel plates, minimum of 2 electronics components, minimum of 2 optronics. Raw chemicals, we'll have them brought here. So I don't think there's anywhere else on the ship that we need them. And then plastic, we could potentially bring them over here. Where's our item fabricator? Do we even have it anymore? I think we should still have an item fabricator because it seemed like we always had weapons. Maybe we dismantled it. I think we dismantled it. Yeah, so this is going to give us a little more efficiency. We could also set up rules for airlocks. So let's take a look at this for a minute. So airlocks, you can preferentially transfer certain types of resources to one airlock or another. So we're going to make these low priority for everything, or low but not lowest priority, I think, for this airlock. We want the main storage to still be over on this side, I think. But here we want to have energy crystals as higher priority over here, because this is where the energy refinery is. Let's have some energy crystal minimums over here, too. So energy crystal is higher. Ice is higher because of water purifiers over here. Intermediate products we were talking about. Scrap can come over here if we get any scrap. Plastic, steel plates, electronics components. Ice, we already put. Quadtronics components are actually not used in the game. They don't do anything. Interestingly enough. Not in the current version, anyway. I think they'll be used to make super blocks later on. They're going to introduce another industry machine or something, I suspect. Let's see. What am I forgetting? This is the one I'm looking for. Optronics components. And then... yeah, so this will be the main airlock for all that stuff. And everything else will go to the other two airlocks. Alright, now that we got that all sorted out, let's move to another sector. Okay, so we want to go eventually down here, but I want to finish exploring this sector first, I think. Let's look at this outpost. This is just an outpost. I don't think we have to go there necessarily, because we have tons of carbon and tons of these materials. I think we're just going to chill at this Military Alliance outpost and maybe trade for a little bit and produce stuff and build. And maybe buy some more energy, we'll see. We've already got 32 though, so we don't necessarily have to. Trespassers William outpost. Let's see. They actually do want plastic, unlike a lot of other military outposts that military places that we've seen. We have the capability to manufacture our own energy cells now, so we don't need to buy those anymore. They have them in abundance, though. We did. We could think about buying some electronics components, but we don't actually have to, right, because we're producing them on our own. So that's basically going to be it, I think. I was thinking we'd be doing a ton of business here for some reason, but it seems like we don't actually have to. We'll sell them a whole block just to fill that inventory. So the main thing now is we're waiting for research. Let's plunk down a 4th research facility to expedite the research some more. You see all 3 research stations in use, so a 4th one makes sense. Oops. Ship-wide power outages. Not ideal. I don't know whether we should go into the X3 or maybe just build another generator. Oh no, our ship's getting too big. Okay, there we go. We stabilized our power situation finally. Problem with the advanced assembler is once we start using it, all of our industry machinery is gonna be working. It's gonna use up a lot of power. We're also using up a lot of power because we're in the thermal radiation sector, so that's definitely a factor. We could trade with the ACS Pathfinder here. How much energy blocks? I think we'll buy a couple more energy blocks from the Pathfinder. They want optronics components. I guess we could sell some of those. I think eventually I'm going to want solar panels. Let's figure out where those are going to go. I think that it makes sense to have... Let's have kind of like solar wings on the outside of the ship. I think that'll be kind of a cool aesthetic. So we'll make... Solar panels are 3x3, and then you need a walkway and a place to put power nodes, so that makes 5 total. So this would be enough here. Let's see what's actually here. Can we get stuff? So could make an access way through prison section, I think. Yeah. We don't necessarily need that there. So that could be... We're gonna end up with some kind of weird Cactus Man design here. Maybe if I do it on both ends, it'll look less weird. So... And let's make sure this is an even multiple of 3. 3... 17... It is not, so we can either extend it or erase 1. Let's erase 1. Same over here. 12, that's even, so that's good. Over here. Set up with an extra row here somehow. Let's erase that. Here we go. And then this doesn't have to go all the way in. It's gotta be 7. Yeah. So that's the width of it, and then how long is it? 18. So those are gonna be like our solar collection areas, once we have solar technology. I think we're ready to leave the sector. We're still short on energy here, and all our industry is backlogged until we get out of here. So at this point in the game, we have an abundance of everything, and research is our real bottleneck. I want to be able to bring on some systems for ship-to-ship combat. I want to be able to manufacture tech blocks and energy blocks so we can start building a second ship. And I just need an abundance of energy to do that. I also want to show you guys solar panels. I think maybe our second ship might be solar powered, depending on where our research is by the time we get done with the assembler stuff. We got a pirate ship here. These guys might be a larger ship because it's late in the game. I want to interrupt them though and see if we can take them. Let's take a look at what they have. Okay, this is a smaller ship, so they're not a huge threat to us, probably. I'm gonna go ahead and send over our 2 away teams. Good. And we've gone to the battle music. They're gonna start firing at us, but they don't know what's coming. So notice that our shields are absorbing the damage right now, and Gwen is working hard to keep the shields online. They eventually will go down, but that'll buy us enough time between that and the hull stabilizers that we'll be able to take over this ship. Oh boy. We got a hot entry here. Looks like we got it under control, though. That might be it for the non-bridge crew. No, we see Zurlan is still over here. I think the pirates might have a split bridge. Okay, we're gonna wait for them to come through the doorway here. There we go. Easy peasy. Alright. So we're going to talk to Zurlian, and I think we are actually looking to recruit more guys now. So let's take them all prisoner, and we'll see what we got. You guys made me waste a third of a perfectly good energy cell. Actually, probably more than that because they were recharging it during the fight. We're just going to go ahead and send one full shuttle of guys back right away. I'm gonna have Lenny go explore. Lauren is gonna go explore over here. And Anand is gonna check out the prisoners. And Woodrow is also gonna explore. So I'm sending the wounded guy with the prisoners so that they both get back to the ship quicker, because the prisoners are also wounded. We probably still could use more industry. This guy's good at weapons, but he's not very brave. We could use more research, actually. This guy's a wimp, though. But I mean, research is going to be good through the end of the game, and then he can also do ops and logistics. So Zurlan is a possibility. This guy is the same thing, but he's iron-willed instead of a wimp. So let's take him instead, William. So we're going to take William. I don't think we're going to take the antisocial person that only does construction. This guy does industry and medical. Peace-loving, so he's more likely to surrender. Yeah, so right now it just looks like we're taking, I think it was William, right? Yeah, the Iron Willed. Did we check out Samantha yet? No, she's the antisocial one. And then potentially Sousa. Let's take Sousa as well. You've taken over the Lost Cause. Seems like a thing that you shouldn't do, right? And we're in the resource-rich sector now, so you can see that all the asteroids are like double the amounts of resources that we were getting before. We're getting 7s and 12s instead of like 2s and 4s. Okay, so we're gonna let these guys go back if they want to. Incoming solar flare. Okay, let's expedite this. Black Knight Star, do they have anything that we want to transact here? Our industry is actually really behind here. We've only got 1 unit of plastic available. We don't need to buy carbon, that's for sure. I don't think we need anything from them currently. Let's take a look at our unstored items. We're down into the signal digits. That's where we want to be. So our logistics is finally caught up, and our composting is finally caught up. And our biomatter storage is slowly trending down. And we're having some zeros on free jobs, which is good to see. Alright, we have tech block manufacturing capability, which is very nice. So again, we have the options. We can go for the X3, or we can go for solar panels, which I think are a bit more interesting for you guys to learn about. And then we can also go for ship-to-ship weapons. I think we want to go to weapons. That just seems like interesting, fun. Actually, you know, we did block out space for the solar panels. Let's put the solar panels now that we can manufacture our own blocks. I think those are fun in their own right, and we have the space for them reserved in our blueprint already, so it makes sense for us to start making those. Let's pick up some raw chemicals here, and we can resume some of our industry. Let's go ahead and put down our new factory, the advanced assembler. The advanced assembler takes up space in the back corner here. He's gonna need power, which we'll provide by giving him his own power node back here. And I'll put it in this location so that we can cover this entire wall back here if we want to put stuff on that wall. I'm gonna go ahead and put another thermal regulator next to him on this side here. And let's get some back windows, because I think this is going to be the back of the hull. I don't think we're going to expand further behind this, probably. There we go. So we got some nice windows there. We might want to leave... Let's leave a little bit of room for a... Doesn't make a lot of sense to have a window that just faces the back of the machine, right? We're going to leave this like that, and I'm going to make this a 2x window so that we have room for another thermal regulator back there if we need it on this wall here. Oh, here comes the solar flare. Let's see how our ship fares. Our shields ran out, so we are going to suffer some fires here. Let's go ahead and close our vents and activate our spacesuits. There we go. Had to turn off the views first. Let's not have everybody be on coffee break while the ship is on fire. There we go. Okay, so we have people fighting the fire now. We have enough crew members, stuff going on board that, you know, these guys can manage that on their own. We don't really need to micromanage them doing that. Let's look at the temperature, and once that's down a little bit, we can start to... We lost these grow beds already. We're gonna open this vent, and this vent is next to a gas scrubber, so once these, once this is emptied out and these have cooled down, then we'll be able to open the rest of our vents here. Actually, let's do it like this. We're gonna open everything, and then we're gonna specifically close this one and this one, so we don't get hot gas pouring onto the bridge and into the crew quarters in large quantities. Maybe we want to close this and this as well. And then we can actually turn off the spacesuit force directive. Oh, I didn't see Richard down here. Industry and medical. Oh, he's the peace-loving guy. Okay. I thought I recruited William. Am I mistaken? Oh, he's the research guy. Yeah, let's get William. I have to, like, split them up so I can see who's who. Okay, we lucked out. We got William. There we go. Okay, let's get everybody back to their normal schedules. Coffee break. Okay, we got this power. Let's get this power linked up. That's gonna go over here. This needs to get linked in somewhere. I guess we can link it in like that. Okay, and we have our assembler online. Let's start producing tech blocks. That's just a thing that we can do now. How cool is that? 5 text blocks, 5 energy blocks at all times. So right now we're not producing anything, but we have rules set up so that we run out, we can start making more. The question I'm wondering about is, do we need... I do actually think I want to take all these metals on board, because we're going to end up using those to manufacture our new ship out of raw materials. Let's wait for our plastic production to get caught up. That'll be a good sort of overall indicator of our industry backlog. Need a safe place to remove spacesuit. You guys should be able to figure that out. The guys that are... I'm gonna explicitly sign some of these tired guys to go to bed. Because I messed up their crew rotation schedule earlier when the fire was happening. Are we recruiting... We have 2 Williams. Can we have 2 Williams? Is that allowed? Do they have to fight to the death? I think they should. They're threatening to fight each other. Oh yeah. But William does not get along with William, let's see. Oh, he gets along a little bit. I guess he's alright. Let's start working on... We're waiting for the solar panel research. Let's start working on the hull that the solar panels are going to go into. I'm going to do this like a little incrementally. 6. Let's start with enough room for 3 panels. If I counted correctly. Maybe we'll do little mini wings over here. Cancel. There we go. So for that, we're probably going to need to also build our last hyperdrive there. So we got a lot of hull construction cut out for us. This would be a great time to find a repair station. We're going to keep an eye out for one as we go through the next couple sectors here. We should try to... This will finish a lot faster if we were able to make room for another pod bay. Let's see if we can fit one in anywhere. I think it won't fit here, right? Is there any way that we can make it fit by, like, moving stuff around? So this is occupied by an oxygen generator and a gas scrubber. If we relocate those to other areas of the ship, then we could have a pod bay. I like the idea of having a pod bay, so let's see what we have in terms of room here. This could be kind of okay. And then this gas scrubber, I want it to be in this vicinity, but it doesn't necessarily have to be in that exact spot. I think it makes some sense for this to be there, maybe. So I think that'll be enough space for us to fit in the pod bay. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. So if we get that done before the whole construction is finished, that'll speed things along. Okay, we got our third pod. Nice. Gonna dismantle... No. Can I move this somewhere without dismantling anything? Yeah, we're gonna move this over here. Sorry, prisoners, we're doing some construction in your section. Bear with us here. Might get a little chilly in there. I'll make this a door. I'm gonna put another thermal regulator on the other side of this wall once this is done. We're gonna need to find somewhere out here to put a large energy block. I think it's gonna be here, maybe? We're gonna need to put a couple of them in, actually. I don't know how we're gonna work that out yet. We'll see. I mean, solar power doesn't generate a huge amount of energy anyway, so... We're almost done with the solar panel research. That's pretty cool. Alright, solar panel research is completed. The next thing... Now, when you have solar panel, you also want to have power capacity nodes. These things go hand in hand. Solar panels generate a low amount of energy over a long period of time, and power capacity nodes enable you to store that energy that you generated while the ship's not really doing much. Like if you have a lot of... I miscounted this a little bit. That's okay. I'll just leave room on the end for the next panel to go. Yeah, we're going to start by just building out the infrastructure here. So we want to have... The more power nodes that we can fit into this kind of grid, the more efficient these panels become. Because the power node, there's a limited rate at which power can transfer from one node to the next. And the power storage helps dictate, how much energy is available at each step. So we don't want to daisy chain the solar panels directly to each other, ideally. We want to link them using large power nodes. Each solar panel only has 2 power connections, so it's a little bit tricky to set them up compared to the generators. Okay, we're gonna hook this in here. I'm gonna hook this in over here. And then this is gonna be a one-way, and this is gonna be a one-way. So this, we can link into here. And this is going to have to get daisy chained into one of these other panels, because eventually this power node is going to extend to another node out that way. Let's link it into this panel, because it's closer to the center of the circuit. So solar panels generate different amounts of energy depending on how much sunlight is in the sector, and that's basically determined by how far you are from the center of the star system that you're currently in. Right now we're on the outer edge of the star system, so we're probably not generating too much energy. We can click on the solar panel to see the percentage. This is actually pretty good, because we must have a pretty bright, smallish star system. We are at 72.5% output, which is quite high for an outer edge system. So this is a good system for solar power. We're completely out of hull blocks and infra blocks. We need to build another hyperdrive before we can go anywhere, so we're just going to sit here for a little while and manufacture and let our crew get caught up on everything. It's unfortunate that I can no longer wall off this little zone here. That prevents me from closing off the storage and the grow beds from the Hyperium hyperdrives, which generate a little bit of discomfort. We could, if we wanted to, demolish this whole row and move the engine section back another 2 squares. That's a significant project for a very small gain. Okay, so we got our generators online. We're working. We've only almost done the power capacity research, or halfway done anyway. We're waiting on hull block production. mostly because we just used all of our hull blocks manufacturing stuff. This geometry doesn't quite work out because the chemical refinery is blocking the way here, so we're going to have to introduce one more node. We're going to have to move this thermal regulator over by a square, and then demolish the resulting wall that ends up here. Here we go. And now we can build a little bit of wall here. Let's try to make it kind of match nicely with the other side, so... Here we go. This section is also very cold, so let's put some thermal regulation in here. That can be powered by the solar panels. Why not? Are we making hull blocks? We are making hull blocks. So as soon as the next 2 hull blocks get produced, they should make their way down here eventually. I'm noticing that we have a lot of idle crew members. I guess we have one machine doing all the manufacturing right now because the infra blocks and the hull blocks both come from the assembler. We could build a second assembler as a temporary measure to speed things up a little bit. I think that's a good idea. Because we're going to be, in the near future, we're going to be cranking out tons of hull blocks and tons of infra blocks. Let's make it easy on ourselves and give our other industry people something to do. Power capacity node enables us to store energy in large quantities, so I'll show you that in a second. Now that our solar research is done, I want to dig into the weapons tree, and we'll start working towards ship-to-ship combat. Okay, our assembler's done, so we're going to make it we have less than 8 hull blocks, and make it we have less than 8 infra blocks. So it gives us an opportunity for one more industry person to be working, helping out here. And we finally have our hyperdrive online, so we should be able to jump now, as soon as the hyperdrive gets fueled. There we go, we saw a robot put fuel in there. And we're going to leave the lost cause behind. Sorry, guys. Okay, we're in a resource-rich sector on an energy node. That's a great place to be. So solar panels, these things generate a tiny amount of energy. They also store a tiny amount of energy, 24 out of 50 stored. If you compare that to the large power nodes, these things store 150, so 3 times as much as a solar panel. And their maximum, let's see if it shows their maximum output. For each unit of sunlight they get, they only produce 3 energy. Compare that to the 25 per tiny fraction of an energy rod produced from the generator. It's like really not much at all. So solar panel is like a really gradual kind of efficiency. It's not normally usable for main ship's power. You can design a ship that way, but it has to be kind of a specialized design. Now these power capacity nodes, they cost 2 energy blocks instead of 1, but they store 1,000 energy units, which is huge. So they work great in tandem with solar panels because the ship is often producing more energy if you have a lot of solar panels than it actually needs. So all that extra energy can go into your batteries here. I'm actually going to link these through the batteries. Batteries, like solar panels, only have 2 links. So I'm going to link that into here, and then this guy is going to be linked to there. So the solar panels are exclusively charging the batteries. They're not charging from the main generators. We can get an idea of how much the solar power is being used by looking at the little gauges. Each solar panel individually has a little energy gauge showing how much energy is stored there. Right now we're using all the energy in this panel, 6 out of 50. And we can likewise look at the energy gauges on the batteries to see how much is stored in the battery. As we're mining here, I'm going to make sort of a wish list of stuff that we want to construct right now. In the early game, when you're kind of worried about resources, you don't want to just plunk down a whole bunch of construction at the same time, because they'll do kind of like a round robin. The logistics will like take turns placing blocks at each of these sites, and if you don't have enough blocks to complete them, you won't complete any of them for a while. It's better to have like, you know, 1 working solar panel than to have 3 solar panels that are under construction, if you know what I mean. So just keep that in mind when you're building a lot of stuff together. Here we can afford to be kind of a little wasteful in terms of efficiency because we're in the late game. We're just adding efficiency to our ship's power system. We're not really relying on these as a primary source of energy. The Aquarius Hawk, I believe, has just entered the sector. They have some cheap blue crystals that we could buy if we wanted to. We're still at 25, and we're about to bring on another 12, so we don't really need that. We still have tons of plastic that we can sell for profit. We're actually down to 20 carbon now, so maybe we don't want to sell all of it. Let's stay over 300, so we're selling 5 units. These guys have raw chemicals. We're down to 8, so we're going to buy a pile of those. Let's take 1 blue crystal to make up the cost, because I don't have enough cash to pay for all the things that we wanted to sell them. Then I'm going to sell some chemicals. We still don't have any cash. Is there anything we want to buy from them? We could speed things up a lot. I know we're doing a lot of industry. We have the capability to manufacture our own stuff, but we could speed things up a lot by just buying some infra blocks. That would reduce the amount of manufacturing that we have to actually do, and we'll get our ship and all of our stuff online a little bit faster. And we can certainly afford it. So let's go ahead and buy 8 infra blocks. And I'll also give them some more money that they can spend in our ship store here. Bad environment temperature. Oh, let's fix that. We are in a radiation sector here, so it's a stress test of our ship's thermal profile. I'm going to try to make this thermal regulator match the other one on the other side. And this is going to help with our industry power supply. We also have these energy nodes that we're using as batteries. These could be replaced with power capacity nodes, and it'll be much more efficient that way. So we're going to get to that in a second here. First, I want to get these things linked in. Fire on board the Auriga. Looks like it's taken care of. Trying to look at our temperatures and stuff to figure out which areas are hazardous for the crew. Oh, this area out here is quite hot. We actually lost a grow bed here because we didn't remember to put any thermal regulators on the outer hull in this section. So let's put one there. We're going to put another one next to the grow bed over here. And we're going to put another one in the area with our composters over on this side. We're actually finally building up some surplus food. I'm happy to see that. Got 10 fruit, 8 nuts and seeds, 4 meat, and 2 vegetables. I just realized that the solar panel is completely inaccessible for maintenance, so if it catches fire, it'll be an issue. Let's move one of these energy nodes to fix that issue. This needs to be linked somehow. There we go. This has an available link. I guess we can just link it back to this battery section. We have another high body temperature over on this side. Okay. You can put another life support there, no problem. We have nothing left to do in this sector. Where's our unlinked power? This is not linked because we just disconnected it. Here we go. This has a free link. It could technically be linked there. I'm gonna link it to this one as well. There we go. You already used up all those infra blocks just building solar panels. That's crazy. One consideration if you're having a ship that's running primarily on solar panels is you want to make sure that you have enough batteries to tolerate being in the outer sectors. A lot of times it makes sense to build your ship with a backup generator that you can turn on in case the solar panels are not providing enough power. That way you can bring some essential systems online. You can disconnect stuff if you have to get enough power to navigate to a system that is producing more energy. Weapons console is online. Now there's two types of weapons that we can research. Energy turrets are used to just straight up do damage to other ships. They use energy cells and they take energy blocks to construct. Missile turrets do not damage enemy shields at all. However, they do extra damage to an enemy ship's hull, and they can also be used to punch holes in the hull. They create micro breaches, just like meteorite strikes. And they can also make holes in walls. They can even be used against derelict ships when you're fighting aliens, for example, to deal some damage to the aliens. If you're using them to assist your crew in a boarding action, you have to be a little bit careful, or on a derelict, you have to be a little bit careful because they can also hit your crew members. So just bear that in mind. It doesn't really make sense to have missile turrets without energy turrets unless you're in the alien sector and you're planning to do a lot of derelict ships in the very near future. Because, like I said, the missile turrets are ineffective against shields. And most ships have, like, pretty much all ships in the game, I think, have at least one shield, NPC ships. We're gonna hope that one of our crew members doesn't get murdered again by a random asteroid strike. We're just gonna keep on going here and hope for the best. Oh, hello. Let's get these guys out into the hallway. Oh, Lauren took a little bit of a pounding there. Yeah, I'd want to escape the ship quickly too if there was meteors coming down. Doesn't look like it's gonna last for very long. Oh, hello. Okay, we've explored the Grimsby. Got plenty of good stuff here. Just monitoring to make sure nobody gets knocked unconscious or whatever. This guy did get a concussion. This can happen when you guys aborted a mining pod during a meteorite shower. Concussion causes the crew member to lose health over time, just like a bleeding injury, and it can be treated by a med bed. But this guy's just resting, it looks like. If his condition deteriorates substantially, I might have to send him to a med bed, but it looks like he's okay right now. I think I'm missing a power node relative to the other side here. Yeah, we need one more power node. So how do I... This can be linked here temporarily until the other power node gets built. One trick to using solar panels is to make sure that energy is getting drawn from them in preference to the generators. We can see here that these battery nodes are full, which probably means that the generators are getting used as primary power and the solar panels are getting used only as backup power. We want to reroute the energy flow so that the generators are not necessary, or not strictly necessary, to the supplying of energy to the power system. We want them to be kind of as far down the network as we can. So let's disconnect our generators here. This is kind of an unsafe way to do this, but let's see. So we're gonna make a loop that goes completely around our generators here, and then we're gonna connect our generators in through this crazy long chain of battery nodes, and that'll enable. Let's see. That'll enable the solar panels to provide a larger fraction of ship's power. Hopefully. We're also limited by the network that's around the solar panels. Here we see that there's only these small floor nodes which don't store a lot of energy. So like I was talking about before, that limits how much energy can flow outward from this section. Let's see if we can improve that a little bit. It's going to be tricky because we don't have a lot of room to build over here without expanding our hull again. Here's a space that I can theoretically build something. The question is, do I want to build that there, or is it going to block everything? Let's look at what's over here. There's no doors back here or anything. The robots can go around on either side, so I think it's probably okay for us to build a node in this little gap here. So I'm holding down the V key to see where our options are to build stuff. I've already blocked off this little carter, so it makes sense for us to put another node behind there. That should enable us to link our solar panels into the main grid. I think that's enough. Once we have the energy blocks to actually build that. So here these are linked together. These are linked up here. And I'm going to sever this link and then link from this one instead. There we go. Okay, so now some of our industry power should be coming from these, and we see that it's getting used by the batteries only being half full. These guys are not getting used so much because we haven't linked them in to the main grid yet, really. There are too many hops away from the main power usage areas. So it's been a pretty long session. I think we're going to wrap up there for the time being. I want to say thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed and you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe. Or if you're watching on Twitch, don't forget to follow the stream. And hopefully I will see you next time.